Hi, my name is Alan Phillips, and welcome to What's Good Miami. In this week's Miami Minds interview, we have the honor of speaking with George Arango, also known as Mr. Eats 305. He has hundreds of thousands of followers, millions upon millions of views, hundreds of millions, who knows? And he is the undisputed king of food and drink content in the 305. So, George, it's good to have you, brother.
That was awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you know what? You've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Long
Like you
time.
told me, it's good to be called king every once in a
I
while.
appreciate it.
Right?
Thank you so much.
So it's good to have you. Been a big fan for a while.
Yeah, man, you
Enjoy
guys
your
been
content.
crushing it on here too. It's been fun
Thank you,
watching
man. Thank you. So let's start out with a little bit about you and your story and kind of how you became Mr. Eats 305.
Yeah, so Mr. Eats 305 started, like we said, 2016. We're approaching 10 years. When my wife and I first started dating,
Okay.
as most couples do when they first start going out, is let's go out to eat every
So you're
weekend.
a content couple?
No. I wouldn't say that at all, especially in 2016.
Yeah.
2016, this is when Instagram, when you got enough likes where the names disappeared, you
Yeah.
felt like you were Kim Kardashian. You know, like, oh, I got 11 likes. Like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
It was more a way to document our experiences.
Yeah.
This was the summer before I was going to law school. So I was studying to take the LSAT.
Why is everyone's either
It's
like
Miami.
becoming a lawyer or a doctor and then they're like, I'm out.
Oh, you forgot real estate, bro.
Right?
Come
Oh
on.
yeah, or real estate. And they're like, I'm out. I'm not gonna be a lawyer. I'm not gonna like be bored the rest of my life.
Let's one step at a time. So we were just doing it as a hobby, and we fell in love with just like the experiences, understanding what it was that Miami had to offer more than just what we were used to, and it was a nice little escape. So throughout law school, when I was there,
Just to so you were born here though, right?
yeah, raised in Miami, everything 305.
So
same
born and
with her.
raised.
Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
Kendall, West Kendall.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a South Miami boy.
That's how I say it. All the way southwest, if you even want to clarify. Yeah.
This is
So, and then raised in Miami, that's all we knew, but we liked exploring more than just what we were familiar with growing up.
good. Okay.
And our
Cuban,
friends, third generation, because my parents were born in New Jersey, and then my grandparents came from Cuba.
Okay.
And then we just loved documenting it, helping our friends kind of discover places without them having to bother me and ask me. I'm like, just check the page that we've been using to kind of like expose or showcase our adventures. And throughout law school, it kind of became a hobby turned side hustle when it was.
So you continued to law school.
Oh, throughout law school is where I built it. And I went through law school and I graduated law school. But upon graduation, I was like, you know what? There's going to be 1,000+ people graduating, sitting up for this bar exam. There's one of me. I have a decent amount of value right now, and I haven't even given it 75%.
Yeah.
So let's try this out. And that was 2020, 2021.
Okay.
And been full-time since.
So 2016, you do it throughout law school.
Yep.
Right? So you got married young.
No. So we've been together for 10 years, but we got married in 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you leave law school. And you're
Graduate,
like, you know what? You graduate.
Yeah.
You did the good boy thing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you know what? Now I'm going to try this out. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, it was more of let me try this out. Let me set these kind of like benchmarks, and if I hit them, there's legs, there's potential.
But benchmarks, like meaning financially, you support yourself.
A little bit of both, yeah. Like it's still to this day a young type of job, or now it's a job, but an industry in general. So I was the one kind of setting the measure and those benchmarks for myself financially and content-wise, saying if I could post every day for the next 45 days, 30 to 40 videos with value, so not just posting to check it off my to-do list, like create content that provides value to an audience, then it should measure to X amount of followers and X amount of reach and X amount of exposure, which should, and this is all should, like this is all hopeful, reach X amount of brands who would want to be interested to then work together to financially compensate for those 30, 45 days of work.
Yeah. It's so amazing that this is like a career now. It's
crazy.
Right? Because like even sitting here and doing this with you, like the more I do content, the more I spend time doing content. And I sometimes feel guilty I feel like, am
Why
I
is that?
doing work? Like,
No,
I know, because I enjoy it. It's
yeah,
fun, right?
I think if you're providing value, it doesn't matter how you personally find it fun, because I don't think it's for everyone.
Yeah, no,
I don't think it's
I
fun
agree.
for everyone.
I agree.
But I think if you're creating some sort of an impact on an audience or anyone there like watching or listening, then you're doing a pretty good job. You're helping out your community, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, like, as you started building this and building a following, like, it's like you see, like, the data comes back,
Yeah.
right? You see what people like, what they don't like.
Exactly.
I feel like you've really amassed a significant following, like, and these people like kind of feel like they know you, right? Like, how do you like? This could be like, where did it get like to the point where you were like, this could be just like bigger than what I ever expected it to be?
It's still, bigger than I never expected it to be anything. It was a hobby turned side hustle, turned and exposed me to the love of what at my core, what I truly love, which is solving problems as efficiently as possible and helping my community.
Okay.
So if you think about it, that's could be a lawyer. It could be anything. A lawyer has an issue that people are approaching him with or her, and they need to kind of solve that problem as concisely and efficiently as possible, because you don't want to spend hours and hours on attorney fees. But I found it in a method and medium that is a little more exciting and fun for me, So that's why I continued to do this, because I was starting to see those little like hints of, people are actually going to these spots. Not only friends now, I have amassed more of an audience little by little, of whether it's word of mouth or how the algorithm works, we still don't know. But what I did know was that I was creating an impact on our community, and that's why I continue to do it.
And so what do you feel like, what do you define as your community?
People who love Miami, not just Miami, just kind of exploring new things. It doesn't have to be food specifically. It can be a travel, it can be a hotel, it can be a song, it can be really anything, but people who are just like open to understanding new or iconic or just culture, community. It's a little bit, at the end of the day, it's me. I'm the storyteller. Yeah. So I'm just honored and blessed that people are curious about following me or learning more about me. And I want to kind of put them on doing myself, and them diligent service and work too.
So it's interesting that you're very like aware of providing a service.
Oh, that's why people trust me, thankfully.
So I've heard that when we first spoke, that's what I like understood from you. There's a very like clear point in your mind where it's like, is this giving what the people are coming for? Are they getting value out of it? Are they like, you don't want to hurt a small business,
no,
right? You want to help a small business, but helping them could sometimes be not posting until they're ready.
Correct.
Like, this is these intricacies that go through your thought process. Like,
there's a lot more that's going on behind the scenes than what people kind of really see or understand about how I work. And I can't speak for any other creator out there.
Yeah.
This is just, all I know is kind of what I do. So I don't post any bad reviews. So I'm sure people out there have seen it. They're like, oh, this guy, he posts everything he eats and he thinks it's good. And it's like, believe me, no.
Okay.
I post the things that I think are very good and are ready to be explored by other people.
Okay. Can you explain what that means?
So if I go to a said restaurant and I order 5 dishes, but 3 of them are above average, those are the 3 that are going to be featured. The other 2, even though the place is good, will not make the video.
Okay.
If all 5 dishes are not up to par or standard, and we'll talk about the tiered system after. If they're not up to par, they're not going to make any video, and I will not post about it, good or bad.
But then also, if you went there and you had 5 dishes you liked and they were all awesome,
I'm posting all 5.
That
video's going to be longer.
If they're not ready, maybe like they can't handle the influx of people, you actually work with the entrepreneur on that too.
Yeah, so timing is also very important. If they're knocking 5 out of 5 out of the park, usually they're ready.
Okay.
It's when they have the 3 to 5 and like, what happened here? Why didn't these 2, like, what's wrong? And they're like, oh, we just started, or we just added this onto the menu. I'm like, okay, that still needs a few more tweaks yet, and it's not ready yet. So the timing of what you were getting at is, if a restaurant just opens, I try to give them at least a quarter or 2 to kind of get their rhythm. especially if they're a first-time business, first-time restaurateur, and maybe has a trained chef, but everything else front of house is not ready. I want them to kind of feel ready and deal with the normal issues that come about with running any business. Yeah, it's going to happen naturally, no matter how good.
I don't think most creators are thinking about that. That's my personal opinion.
You know, there's a lot of things, because at the end of the day, not only are we here to help businesses, but we have to be mindful of the consumer who's going to these businesses and spending their time, their money, everything. So it's not that everything that I post is fantastic in the sense of you need to drop everything you're doing and going, but sometimes I want to help out a certain neighborhood, or if there's a pizza spot in Palmetto Bay, which is at the end of close to the end of Miami-Dade County. Oh, there's tons, and we can talk about Palmetto Bay for days. Like, it's worth the drive going over there. But I'm sometimes posting it to let people know who live 5, 10, 15 minutes, to give them that seal of approval that I have, and they're waiting for me to go and visit. But if you live in Aventura, I'm not telling you, hey, drop everything you're doing and go all the way to Palmetto Bay. Yeah. That's where the map on my website is probably the most useful thing, because I have all of Miami-Dade County there.
Everything?
I map the things that I've been to that are worthwhile, and I try my best to put in there my go-to order.
So if you're thinking about going out for dinner, you go to your website, you can look at a map.
Correct.
In the area you want to go to
the
and
cuisine.
Get the order that you tell them to go to, and the cuisine.
And you can even make a reservation most of the times straight from the website.
Okay.
There's a link either to a website of the restaurant or my video that I've posted about the place, so they can also visually see the experience that I had if they cared to watch it. But not you don't need it.
So are you, just to jump for 1 second, are you a Con Chow guy or a tropical Chinese guy? Or
it's both, but Con Chow is if I'm ordering takeout, because I live right near there, I'm ordering Con Chow.
I love Con Chow.
But the dim sum brunch at Tropical is also great.
Tropical is definitely like a little bit more of like a restaurant experience.
Yeah.
Con Chow is like what you think of in your mind when you think like, if I'm gonna get great Chinese food in like a restaurant that like feels like what a American Chinese food restaurant would look like in my head, I would go there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what it means. I don't know if that makes sense, but like growing up going to Chinatown in New York, like that was Con Chow, it wasn't Tropical Chinese.
How I see
Tropical Chinese was like the place in my town.
How I see it as, like, to compare it to New York, Tropical Chinese is like Joe Shanghai, that you're having it there, you're sitting down, you're finishing your meal, and you're like, oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Con Chow, you're taking it to go, heavy bag, things leaking from the bottom.
Yeah.
It's your car smells. That's Con Chow. Fantastic.
Yes. But Dumpling King also, like greasy, take out the whole thing. The biggest difference between Dumpling King and Con Chow for me, though, is when I eat Con Chow, I don't feel bad afterwards. Dumpling King, I think you must use a lot of MSG or something. I feel like a little like roly-poly.
Yeah.
Well, like a little lightheaded when I'm leaving there. Like Con Chow, I felt like, I could go, take a run, or maybe I'll go for round 2.
Well, maybe you're not eating enough, because for me, I still feel a little heavy there. But I get what you're saying, and I love Con Chow. I mean, I guess it's my hometown place. It's where I grew up going, and like where I'm.
Oh, really?
For the most part, like.
They don't have an Instagram.
I don't blame them. They don't need it.
Yeah, that was the lady told me up front.
Oh, nice. That's funny.
I was like, what's your Instagram? And she was like, we don't have Instagram. She's like, we're already too busy.
That tracks. Yeah, I was like, that's great.
I was like, that's like a place I want to hang out. So was there like one post or one piece of content where like you had the first one that went viral? Because I did, and I remember it. Okay. Like,
I would say, man, like it's been a journey. It's been like steady growth, that it's kind of building that reputation little by little. It wasn't a happen overnight or a trendy post or a trendy place. Like, people may associate me with the first post that they saw that can be a certain series, but it was never like, oh, that made me who I am today. I think it's the journey of doing it now for 10 years and the repetition. Yeah, excellence doesn't happen over a single act. It happens like through the routine. And
I was just asking if there was one you remembered where you're just like,
no,
holy shit,
it's cool.
It's cool.
It's cool. Different series, like best fritangas in Miami, best New York style pizza in Miami, things like that. It's rankings and lists. People find them the most fun, and those are the ones that catches the algorithm. But
it's a fritanga.
Oh, brother.
I'm not Cuban, bro. I'm a
Nica-
nice Jewish boy from New York.
That's more
Tell
like,
me about the fritangas.
That's
bro.
more like Nica. So that is like late night. Doesn't even have to be late night. You can be sober and eat it there.
Okay, tell me.
It's
School me, bro.
gallo pinto, which is rice, beans, carne asada, and a fried cheese. That's a go-to order at a fritanga, and I'll take you after this podcast.
So rice, beans.
They have everything. It's like kind of food by the pound, but it's not really food by the pound on the Nica El Salvadorian type of like Central American cuisine. But if we're talking late night eats, I think that, Caña Brava is a good place.
We're going very different. We're going to go very deep into the.
Okay.
I think we almost got in a fist fight over Cuban food once already. So.
No. So it's a whole other.
We're gonna have a whole discussion about Cuban food.
That's whole Latin. So every single Latin and Hispanic nationality has their own kind of go-to cuisine for sure.
Well, you're dealing with a gringo, bro. You're dealing with a gringo.
I'll make sure to step it back a notch.
So Miami's food scene. Yeah. Clearly. So you start this thing out. Now, I was here. I moved here 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I was probably here right when you started.
Yeah.
And Miami's food scene 10 years ago was not
nowhere
what
close.
It is now.
Nowhere close, yeah.
Like, one of my favorite things is, like, about Miami then was, like, any night of the week, anywhere I wanted to go, I could go, basically, right? Maybe Saturday between 8 and 10, like, might have been a problem some places, but generally you could go wherever you wanted, whenever you want. And if you were dialed in, then you really could do whatever you wanted, and you're probably getting some free, bottles coming to your table or a glass of wine or whatever it is. Like, then COVID comes and like this place explodes, and it's way different than it was then. And now it's ebbing back, but like you definitely like also got the advantage of riding that wave, right? So with Miami's like food scene exploding and more competitive, how do you see what's going to happen in like before other people do?
I'm not worried kind of about what other people are doing. I try to focus on...
Like, how do you see the trends?
Yeah, but I'm more focused on the good quality products that I'm curious about. Okay. If a place opens up and they reach out to me, or a friend is opening up, a local chef, that's how I kind of hear about it. It's still like old school methods. Yeah. Or if another...
word of mouth, a lot of word of mouth.
A lot of it, and building the community from the community. Maybe a follower of mine also has just recently gone there because they live nearby. They've been seeing the wrappings on the outside, and then finally the wrapping's gone and they go that first day. They'll reach out to me and say like, hey, I went to this place, had a great experience, you should go check it out. And then that's how I immediately kind of pin it and like put it on my radar. So I appreciate all my audience members who are kind of doing some boots on the ground work in all neighborhoods in Miami. Spies. Yeah, it's great.
You got spies.
Not even spies, just good supporters and followers. Yeah.
Intelligence.
Exactly, it's intelligence. They're doing. Yeah, they're helping out. Can't be everywhere. That's why I love the map too. It helps me.
So tell me though, like with this explosion, like what is your take on what's happening now?
Well, going back to 2016.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny what you were mentioning because there were less spots, but it was easier to get in. So you would think it would have been harder because there were less spots
and wasn't the case.
Similar amount of people. Of course, there was a spike in people in 2020. Yeah. But for the most part, it should have been just as hard. But there was definitely a rise of, we were slowly getting there. We were starting to see a lot of local talent building out their own restaurants, and seeing that with Michael and like Michael Schwartz, Giorgio Rapicavoli, Jose Mending, Eileen, Chef Adrian, like all of our local talent who's like kicking ass now. Yeah. They were the first wave of inspiration for the second wave of chefs that came in after. So I think it just happened to line up perfectly with Miami kind of being in the forefront of everything. And now I love the explosion of what happened. We're not only are the foodies seeing more restaurants in Miami, but we're exposing it to the average person who has become a foodie, because now it is the main thing to do in Miami. There aren't as many clubs and bars back in the day, 10 years ago, 2010 and 2015, you'd go down Miami Beach and it was the place to be because of all the things happening and going on. Yeah. Now it's more like, where are we going to dinner this weekend rather than where are we going out this weekend? Yeah. But like now a lot of places are closing, right? Summer is tough. I don't know if it's a correction.
You think it's summer, or you think it's just generally?
Definitely summer is a bigger factor, but it could be a correction from the amount of places that opened up, reference how many people there actually are in Miami. So it could be a mixture of both, you know, and that there's so much competition.
I think summer is just like is just right now like the nail in the coffin for certain people. But I think the overbuild is still in process. And like, I think there was a huge overbuild clearly that happened. And we're seeing people getting like pushed out in the summertime. But even like with still like Amazonico, for instance.
Okay.
Amazonico is opening 1,300 seats in Brickell for an Amazon-themed restaurant. Now, by the way, they're very successful in other markets, so maybe they're going to be a huge success. If they are a huge success, they'll be one of the highest-grossing restaurants in the country.
That'd be great,
right? And that's great. But there's a huge juxtaposition between Boy a Day and Amazonico, right? And I think what used to be the case, like, you know, when Komodo first hit, right, that was a different Miami, right? And so that version of Miami wanted that restaurant, right? I don't think, like, at least my observation is that there's a little bit less of an appetite for an Amazonico than there is for like a Mark's artisanal pizza right now.
Yeah.
And that as the market matures, it's going to change the things that succeed here.
For sure. Whether it's us or the community, I agree with you, but I can't speak for everyone. I feel that same trajectory and I feel that same trend aligning with what you're saying. But for example, there are high grossing restaurants that do extremely well that aren't my go-to necessarily that I'm like craving to go back. For example, Mila does a great job, one of the highest grossing restaurants in the country.
Yeah,
if not the world. And like, it's not in my top 10 of where I'm recommending personally where to go to because I don't find that to define Miami for me.
Yeah, of course.
But I know that's what people are looking for. And you're coming here for the weekend, it's a bachelorette party. Of course, that's what you're looking for.
But if you lived in New York or LA, right, in 2015, you had both of those things, right?
Twice the amount of people.
Yes, that's the thing. You had twice the amount of people. Yeah. But if you're not attuned to the subtleties of what makes the hospitality and restaurant business run, you wouldn't necessarily understand that, right? So the fact that like Jose Andres will open a restaurant in a hotel on Miami Beach, it is what it is.
It's not for locals.
Yes, it's not meant for locals.
Yeah, they know that.
The problem, I think, and that's fine. I think that makes sense. And the question is this other thing, right, that happened where you, like in Wynwood, for instance, you have so many restaurants.
Truly a renaissance right now.
Right? Yeah. So much going on there. And then you have like a restaurant like Uchi, right? Q. And then you have a restaurant like Pastis, for instance, which easily could have been a restaurant in a hotel. Yeah,
could have been put anywhere, really.
Yeah, but Pastis in New York is like a neighborhood spot, or at least started out as a neighborhood spot, right? It's jamming here, and it's a big restaurant, and it does really, really well. And so there's this like really interesting and subtle nuance that I think is one of the most exciting things to me about Miami is that it's almost like Miami hasn't even fully grown up yet.
Oh, no. We're just getting started.
Right?
I know we have like filtered out some great spots, some bad spots, but at the end of the day, we're just scratching the surface on the food scene. We're truly now getting a taste, no pun intended, of what hospitality is, what food and beverage could be, what restaurants could potentially be outside of what we're used to.
Yeah.
And we're also gaining more of a community who are interested in this. So I think we're just getting started, even though there have been so many closings, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if that's to do with rent, if it's lack of people, if it's timing, if it's food costs. There's so many labor costs. There's so many factors that go into it that are bigger than me.
I believe it's a micro, like Miami is micro markets, like as opposed to like in New York, for instance, you have like Greenwich Village, you have Soho, you have the Meatpacking District. These are neighborhoods. Williamsburg is a neighborhood within Brooklyn, which is a larger city with multiple other neighborhoods, right? Miami, it's like Wynwood is like quasi like a city, and then you have streets. And the streets are like these micro markets where something can work here and some reason it doesn't work there.
Yeah.
But it's very, very nuanced.
So I think when we're talking about Miami too, we have to separate the city of Miami versus Miami-Dade County. Because how I see Miami,
you see Miami-Dade County
as
right?
Miami-Dade County. Growing up out west, like Kendall, Coral Gables, South Miami, Coconut Grove was the heart of Miami more than the Brickells, the Wynwoods, the Miami Beach. Like that was
that's
a
one
whole
of the
different
reasons I
world
wanted
for
to
me.
selfishly have you on, because I feel like there's a really interesting juxtaposition in where I sit and where you sit and the different parts of Miami that we represent. In a way.
It's a whole other world, really. Like that's the beauty of what Miami kind of has for me. How I see Miami is that it truly has everything that someone may be looking for. If you want to be a soccer mom and like raise a family and have private school, like there's a spot for you for that. If you want to party every weekend, there's a spot for you. Finance bro, anything you really want to be, Miami has almost everything here available for you with very good weather
more
on the
than
water.
It used to, though. Even more diversity.
more diversity.
And just to be clear, like I've many times gone out of my way to drive to Palmetto Bay, to South Miami.
You have to drive in
to
Miami.
other places to eat food. Like my wife is Persian. When we first came here, there was nowhere to get Persian food in Miami. So I used to drive out to like Coconut Grove, Coral Gables area, and I think it was Rumi.
Oh, Rumi's. Okay,
Rumi was the first one that was there, or something like that. And then there was another one that was like half Lebanese, but wasn't really. Like you couldn't even get the groceries. Now there's a Persian grocer. Now there's multiple kebab spots. Like all of that exists.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily exist in Miami proper, right? Miami Beach proper, sorry. In Miami Beach proper or the city of Miami. Like you do have to go to other places to get the things you want. Yeah. Just like New York.
And it's too hot anyways over here that you don't want to be like walking to a place. Like you're going to get in your car and you're going to drive even if it's to the grocery store, you know?
But what I'm trying to get at is that it's worth the exploration of Miami is a have to.
If you're not doing that drive, you're not really living or exploring Miami. You don't understand what Miami truly is. Like spend a morning or a weekend in, not even a whole weekend, like have lunch in Hialeah, have lunch in Coral Gables, have lunch in Alapata, have lunch somewhere, and just kind of like understand, get an understanding of the footprint of Miami, just to understand what more to it is than the Brickells and the Miami Beach, you know?
So let me ask you a question. Like, do you see a shakeout coming or a boom?
Well, it depends the neighborhood, you know? Like, Wynwood's in a complete renaissance. Local, it's like there's great spots on one street, and then there's some other spots that shouldn't be there that maybe signed the lease 3 years ago, and now the concept doesn't really fit as well as it was going to 3 years ago. So in some streets, there might be a shakeout. There might be a boom in some other areas, as we've seen in Coconut Grove had their boom, you know.
But this is really interesting because I'm telling you, we sit on different sides of the table.
Yeah.
So why do you think Wynwood's in a renaissance?
Because it's changing its identity of what it once was, and it's still not exactly at where it's going to be from what I see. Mm-hmm. So it's in that weird position of, as a local, am I going out there? And then as a tourist, it's not what it used to be. So should I even go back there? It hasn't really formed its final evolution or identity. So it's more of that. It's kind of just changing it's where it's.
See, I see Wynwood as like Wynwood's eventually going to be a residential neighborhood,
which is the craziest statement of knowing what it was at one point. There was not one residential space in there from 2008 to 20, 15,
but the key
16.
to it becoming what it wants to be is being residential.
That's where it looks like it's going.
If you have a residential neighborhood there, then the businesses will see repeat business over and over again.
Do you think because it's leaning or trying to lean more into residential that it will lose its tourist approach?
I actually think more high-end tourists will come to Wynwood when it's more residential because they'll feel more safe. I think
do they feel not as safe anymore?
Yeah,
because compared to what it used to be, I'm like,
yeah,
I feel.
But it's still, I mean, it's still adjacent to Overtown.
That means nothing though. Like you can have a bad act or something happen in any neighborhood. So I'm comparing it only to what I know, and for me, I'm like, dude, this is great.
Okay, so it's great, but basically, Wynwood is thought of or has been thought of as Miami's version of Williamsburg,
for sure,
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Now, or Venice Beach, California. Williamsburg, Brooklyn has so much more going on.
It's much bigger too
than
than
Wynwood had
proper.
Going on, but adjacently they were growing at the same time. The only difference was Wynwood didn't have any residential.
Not one.
Right? Well, Williamsburg was entirely residential. So now Williamsburg has like Hermes, Apple, et cetera, Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. Not saying that that's what what it should be, but eventually, once the residential comes in here, it's gentrification.
Yeah.
The area will gentrify, and it will become a much safer neighborhood with a much more complete offering.
Do you think because of its proximity to Midtown and Design District that it might limit what Wynwood can get to because you have Hermes 10 minutes away? I'm
not saying it should be Hermes, but
we're just using that as the example, by the way.
I believe that will all connect. Design District, Midtown, Wynwood eventually will all connect and be like a walkable neighborhood.
As much as we want it to be, it's too hot. I don't foresee anyone walking from Design District to Wynwood unless it's in the 50, 60 degrees for those 2 weeks of Miami.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. They will all be a connected neighborhood, a connected metropolis, in my opinion.
I hope.
I believe they will all be connected because they're so close and adjacent to one another. I hear what you're saying, but when you're you're not like in Wynwood, you're not like 5 blocks away from Overtown. You're 1 block. It's right there and it's right here. So it's like Bushwick and Williamsburg. Bushwick was always less safe than Williamsburg. It's just the nature of the beast. I'm not being
and we're just having the conversation about it here because you look at Coconut Grove too, and like they were able to go through the waves of what Coconut Grove has to offer, where it was like the place to be in the 90s and 2000s, and then it kind of went downhill.
Another post I just saw 2 days ago: don't move to Coconut Grove because, and by the way, I love Coconut Grove.
Me too. It's one of my favorite
Don't move
areas.
to Coconut Grove because the new stuff that's being built in Coconut Grove, in this person's opinion, coming from another place, is adjacent to a very bad neighborhood.
And that's my example, is that like,
it is.
But also Coconut Grove is perceived as one of the best and high end and like expensive places, and so is Wynwood. So it's a very similar thing, but you don't. Not that I'm a dad, but I'm taking the example of like a dad. You would feel more safe with your daughter walking through Coconut Grove on a weekend than dropping her off in Wynwood.
Yeah, of course.
But it's almost the same exact thing.
Yeah, but the truth, that's the thing. Let's be real. Like, I mean, we could talk about as much as we want about Miami.
I think it's more because it's more touristy is what I'm kind of getting at, is that the amount of people and the influx and attention that Wynwood has leans more touristy, which is why I think if it becomes more residential, would it become less touristy, similar to how Coconut Grove is, where it's less residential and it's more local leaning.
It'll get safer.
Yeah.
It'll get safer when more people live there because it will have to. Because what happens is the people who build the buildings, who have the money, force the city to step up the police in the area to make it safer.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of it's more a matter of political science than it is a matter of judgment. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, coming from New York, when I first moved here, it was I experienced much more crime in Miami than I experienced in New York, which is very unusual. And I'm a pretty my car has gotten stolen in Miami probably 4 times. That's already.
Crazy. I've lived here 30 plus years.
4 times from Miami Beach,
crazy
from
odds.
my house on the Venetian. My car's got stolen twice. In front of my other friend's house in Miami Beach, it got stolen. And it's got stolen from another location.
Gotta stop living in all those nice places, man. Get a gated community or something, man.
All right. Enough class wars. Let's get back to the food, because I think what's really interesting, though, I got to be like, just to throw it out there, I think like and I felt this when we talked the first time, we represent different parts of this city.
Oh yeah,
and it's fucking awesome. And it shows the diversity of what this city is. But this conversation, I think it's important, the conversation we're having, for other people to see the conversation we're having.
Especially
right?
if they don't know what Miami has to offer or what it's about, for sure.
Yeah. But like these perceptions, like I went with my kids to Wynwood on a Saturday night, and like I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a new baby coming. And like there were hundreds of people on the street.
Yeah.
Right?
Tons.
And by the way, I used to live in Williamsburg, so I took them there too. I couldn't take them to Wynwood on a Saturday night at 9:00 at night. It's just like not a place that you can really like go.
Well, that's the beauty of Miami, is that there's so many different neighborhoods that you can take
Lincoln
them
Road you
to.
can. Coconut Grove you can.
Yeah, Lincoln Road, I wouldn't. Right now, I mean, I know Lincoln Road's also in a renaissance, or they're hoping to change and improve, because as someone who lives in Westchester, Kendall, South Miami, like, you'd have to make sure your passport's renewed to go take someone to Lincoln Road. Like, 9 out of 10 friends of mine, if the restaurant is in Miami Beach, you would have to pay them to go.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Why?
It's far for when they have so many other options available to them nearby.
Okay.
They rather spend their evening in Coconut Grove or in Kendall, and that's the thing with Miami, is that no matter how good a dumpling spot is in Bird Road and Westchester all the way to North Miami, every borough or neighborhood should have a great whatever cuisine.
Yeah.
So you don't have to leave your neighborhood. So every neighborhood should have a great Chinese spot, a great barbecue spot. There doesn't need to be a war.
School us a little bit on South Miami, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of the people who like watch this and listen to this, when I went to Con Chow and I posted about Con Chow, they couldn't have less of an understanding of even where that was.
That's Miami. You were in the heart of Miami, off the Palmetto and like Bird Road.
School
Like
us,
Tropical
though.
Park is like a state. It's the only hill in Miami, and that's like it's crazy because I think it's man-made too. But like growing up on the west side of the Palmetto and the Turnpike, passing the Palmetto, my friends would joke around to me in high school when we first got our cars, like, "Oh no, his car stops after the Palmetto," because that was a whole new world to me. I was like, "No, I don't want to go there. It's too far. Why do I need to go to that spot in Coconut Grove even?" You know, growing up, because I have this in Kendall. Why am I going to go over there? So it's that's why the beauty of having to get in your car and going and exploring and understanding what else is out there too.
I would have never found like Babe's Meat Counter if I didn't explore.
Yeah,
like
and
that
that's
place
in
is
one of my favorite spots in all of Miami. You know.
Tell us about like some of the places down there. Give us like some.
Do I have to name every single neighborhood?
No, give us a guide. Give us like 3 or 5 places that we need to know about.
To check my map. But
we're going to.
Babe's Meat Encounter in Palmetto Bay, Tinta y Café, they have a location in Coral Gables or in Miami Shores.
So what's Tinta y Café? I haven't been there.
Oh man,
I've heard good things, but what is it?
It's been there now for, I want to say 10 or 20 years, a good amount of time, but it is a Cuban restaurant of today. Of Miami, of my generation, and even my parents, but it's not one of yesteryear of my grandparents. And some people only see Cuban restaurants being
Gringos.
of like it needs to be run by an 80-year-old. Like yes, I love those spots too, but let's continue to grow.
Café is like a modern Cuban restaurant.
Correct, with sandwiches, but they also have some specials, and they'll throw a burger on the menu, they'll throw ribs on the menu, whatever, because it's just like a homey, comfortable spot where you can just kind of have your neighborhood coffee, pastries, sandwich.
Yeah.
Incredible. One of my favorite spots in all of Miami.
Okay. Keep them coming.
Oh, man.
Give us like 3 or 5.
Babe's Meat Encounter, we were talking about them. They're in Palmetto Bay. Palmetto Bay is, if you keep going on US 1, and you take the South Dixie Highway all the way down to 140, 150, like if you're going down to the Keys, you run into Palmetto Bay amongst a bunch of other neighborhoods. And there is a micro butcher shop that offers sandwiches and poutine. They're Canadian as well, and great cookies.
It's meats if you want, right?
Yeah, you can just get your meats there too. But like one of the best burgers in town, one of the best Cuban sandwiches in town, one of the best they just do everything really well, really really well. They are just so focused on producing good quality, and I think that's what makes them special. Okay, really.
What else we got?
Brother, we can keep going.
Keep going. This is what people want to hear.
What are you hungry for right now? Because that's the beauty of again my map and Miami is that everything's so spread out, and I have a tab there for favorites where there are I think 65 to 70 spots always on the favorites tab because I have 3 or 4 different favorite coffee shops, 3 or 4 different sandwich shops, 3 or 4 different burger shops, and then I just compile them into.
So if I want Cuban coffee, where should I go?
You can get it at Tinta y Café, but I really love Sweet Habana Cafe.
There's one right over here, right?
That is the one, Sweet Habana Cafe. Okay. So for Cuban coffee, Tinta y Café, Sweet Habana Cafe, or go to your nearest ventanita, and you can go and get a cortadito, colada to share it if you want, Enriquetas right across from there too if you're looking for a more traditional leaning Cuban coffee.
Okay, late night eats.
Depends. Personally, I actually don't partake a lot in the late night eats because having this job, you need to also be kind of like health focused, and we're eating a lot during the day. So we try to stop our eating very early and do like intermittent fasting. But I know it's big for a lot of people. Fritangas in Miami are huge. We spoke about them. Then it died down a little bit, but depending on the neighborhood, it's still active, like food trucks. Like I went to Vinny's, an Italian sandwich shop that they're parked across from Enriquetas in the Edgewater Midtown area.
Have you been there?
Banging out.
Kramer? No, this place he said.
Vinny's. It just opened recently. You've ordered it? Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Ordering is always, I try not to order as much because when you have bread in anything, it's going to be soggy. Especially a Italian beef and meatball sandwich where the sauces are soaking into the bread. Like, it's going to be tough. The best way to eat anything is going to be as right off the grill or whatever they're serving, it off from.
Is there a Cuban dish that you would say, like, when you eat it or someone should eat it, that, like, this is Miami?
Oof. I wouldn't say, like, one in particular. And I would say that Miami is more diverse than Cuban. So I would say anything with rice and beans because rice and beans are a staple in a lot of Caribbean, Latin, Jamaican, Haitian cultures. I would probably say rabo encendido, which is oxtail, with rice and beans and a plantain on the side, whether it's maduro or tostón. I'd lean I'd probably go tostone for the saltiness and the crunch with rice and beans and the oxtail.
So if I wasn't gonna go to your parents' house, where would I get this oxtail?
I would go to, if you're looking for an old school traditional one, either La Casita. It's, ironically enough, it means little house.
Yes.
So the average age in there is like 75. Okay. It's fantastic.
Amazing.
El Mago de las Fritas, even though it has fritas in their name, which is like a Cuban smash burger, but there's more to it.
I've had that place before.
Fantastic, but they also have great large plates, entrees. Tinta y Café also has great spots, great dishes. It's Miami. There's going to be a number of them.
Keep going down your list. So, what place do you think is overhyped right now?
So, I don't talk bad about restaurants, but there are places that aren't really like my cup of tea, like the club restaurant things. Like I think they're not for me, but I love that they're from Miami and that they do well and that it's a fun place when people come and explore Miami. They have that available for them. But for me, be I'm cool with it.
Do you have a chef that you love right now? Who you think people should be checking out?
Anything from our local talents, man, like Neven Patel, Michael Beltran, Pablo Zitza, Giorgio Rapicavoli, Will from Sonny's, who has Aaron Brooks there in the kitchen. Man, I can keep going. Who else? The team from Coney Burgers doing some fun stuff.
I heard good things about this place.
Yeah, they're doing some great stuff. Bro, there's some great local talent that's brewing here in Miami, and what we're seeing is that they're not only just opening in one spot, but they're like continuing to grow. And like Pablo, for example, who had Zitsum, he opened up dojo izakaya on Giraldo, which is, I haven't been yet specifically, but I've been hearing great things. Raheem Scott, who opened up Shiso with Shiso, was incredible.
I heard Shiso's great. I really want to try it. I haven't tried it yet.
Mike Pirolo from Maquilina Barbuche with Jackie there handling the wine program. And they just opened Fluke, which I haven't been to yet, which is the
like to try that
martini and crudo bar. So like,
I like martinis.
I'm out of breath naming local talent, which is fantastic.
Martini?
I'm sorry?
Take your martini.
I'm a tequila guy.
Okay.
So like, I'll drink the one, whoever the bartender wants to
Straight?
serve it for me. Tequila, I'll have it on the rocks, yeah, with lime. That's it. Or mezcal. Like, I'm a tequila or mezcal guy for sure.
The smokiness like gets me on the mezcal, but people love mezcal.
Especially in Miami, because it's so damn hot. You don't want that extra smokiness on top.
Yeah.
But for those 2 weeks of cold that I was talking about, fantastic. Or a mezcal Negroni.
I've heard great things about a mezcal Negroni, man.
Yeah.
So do you get to have the time to travel out of Miami to like kind of compare your palate?
For sure. And we love exploring different, like, I don't want to call them trends, but of what's going on and have a pulse on food, not only in the country, but in the world. So we love going to New York every year.
Didn't you DJ in New York at that?
Yeah, I just DJ'd Jack's Dining Room's Yes Chef Food Festival in Brooklyn. That was super fun because you also got not only to explore the pulse of what's going to happen in the city, but they brought all like the viral trendy spots under one roof, and we were able to try a lot of great food there at the festival. Then I was in London for a week and a half, and then went to South Africa for 2-3 weeks. So every time we go everywhere, we were in Japan last summer. So we love traveling, we love exploring, we love showcasing those travels and finding great eats in those countries, places, cities, towns, whatever you know.
Interesting. So before we jump into the standard what's good questions, I have one, like, I know, like, I can tell you're very passionate about certain things, right? First of all, I do want to ask you, just because we're sitting here, and I'll ask you. So when I felt like energetically that when I said that Wynwood was unsafe, you like, it got you. I feel like I hit your button of like saying Overtown is over there, like got you. No, like I was being judgmental or something.
What I just don't like when certain.
No, the other way.
I don't like when certain things are like a blanket statements
over certain things. That's why I'm bringing it up, bro. Trust me.
Yeah.
So you think it's like a stereotype?
Listen, I'm sure it happens. Being there, I haven't personally seen it, and I'm there once a week. So sure, I'm sure it can be, but like that's with every neighborhood. Like you said, your car has been broken into 4 times on the Venetian and Miami Beach. So like, is Miami Beach in that area also unsafe? Because I know Ocean and the place where people are, but
no, there's plenty of places where
so it's just Miami unsafe. You know, like
I just think I think there's more movement and certain types of crime that are seen more here that people don't necessarily talk about because of the tourism, and like it's not like fun to talk about publicly, but like things like human trafficking and things like that.
No, but you can't knock that. Like again, just because I don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
No, yeah.
But again,
I worked with Voices for Children at one point and went to the courthouse and like saw everything that was going on. And there's just, I mean, like any other city, there's like different aspects to everything going on in this city. And that's one of the things that like with the restaurants that I don't think people really get, like the majority of people, is that like these restaurants and hotels, like them going out of business it's a big impact on people's lives, man. Like these restaurateurs, these waiters, these waitresses, these busboys, like everyone working in that restaurant, when it goes out of business, like it trickles down very fast into rent payments, into school payments, into like really impacts people's lives.
Totally, of course. It's a job at the end of the day, you know? So people are losing their jobs. What I think is happening, it's more than the safety issues because like I said, friends aren't going to certain areas because it's unsafe. It's just because they have places more convenient for them and they support those restaurants because it's convenient for them. I think what's hurting our scene is that there's so many restaurants opening that the person who is a quote unquote foodie is going to every single restaurant right when it opens. And then at the end of the day, you've now supported, yes, every restaurant in Miami one time.
Yeah, I know.
But you're not going back because you keep going to the newest restaurant, and it's not enough to sustain business for what the business had planned to do, because they thought in this area, X amount of people in Midtown were going to want to go to the spot that's, right down the block. But, they rather travel because we're used to traveling.
It's a density thing.
Yeah.
It's a very simple numbers game. Like if there's 20 restaurants and there's 5,000 people, that goes a certain way. If there's 100 restaurants and there's 5,000 people, it goes another way. There's not enough money to go around.
Yeah.
Right. And people are like a little bit nervous. They're not exactly sure like what's going on in the world. They don't know how to spend their money exactly. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah. I can't speak for everyone, so I know, but I'm optimistic to where it is, because I feel like talent wise, Miami's in a very good spot with their local talent and chefs and idea of food.
I agree. We're definitely getting better.
Yeah.
We're definitely getting a lot better. So I'm going to hit on one more controversial point before we go. So me and you had a conversation last time we saw each other about the pantheon of cuisines.
Yes.
And the pantheon of cuisines comes from my work as a head of food and beverage for a hotel company. Mm-hmm. I used to get taken to all these different cities, and a hotel, in order to charge a certain rate, needs 3 meal a day restaurant.
Yeah.
Right?
We spoke about this, yeah.
And so if you look at a hotel and you say, can you have a 3 meal a day restaurant? It really narrows it down to specific cuisines, right? In most places in the world. So that means you could probably have an American restaurant, like a diner can serve 3 meals a day, right? Or a burger place or whatever. You can have an Italian restaurant. People eat like Italian breakfast, that works. Italian lunch works, right?
Mediterranean.
You could have like Mediterranean, which is like in the world of Italian, but yeah, Mediterranean. So Greek, that could be like Greek, Israeli, Turkish, whatever, Turkish, Lebanese, whatever. You could have like Mexican.
Yep.
Is definitely a thing, because people eat the like huevos rancheros. They like all different tacos, and then there's high-end food for dinner. Yeah. You can have a steak or whatever. So like, and French. And we had a little debate on French.
Well, because like the lunch area in French is what gets me.
Yeah. You have you're going to be I'm going to own the Cuban thing. You're going to own the French thing, because I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Okay.
Because French cuisine largely considered the father cuisine of all cuisines in the entire world. I'm not higher than Italian, higher than anyone else. It'll be hard to argue that French cuisine is not one of the 5 or 3 most like well-respected cuisines.
That's a different question than we were talking about before. Well-respected is different than like best cuisines of food, because I think the methods and where people have learned and stemmed from cooking and training and everything. It's French.
Yeah, but I mean, you could get a sandwich on a baguette. You can get eggs in the morning.
I think you can get as simple as chicken. Like the way that this chicken is made. Like
everything you can get in French.
So we were talking about.
So I said, where does
Cuban rank?
And I said, where does Cuban food rank in this pantheon?
My bias was like, number one. Obviously, I was kidding, because I know it. When I take a step back, it's like, oh wait, there's actually a lot going on in the world that has great other options. I had mentioned Japanese. I had mentioned Peruvian.
Yes.
I had mentioned, we had spoke about Mexican. We were talking about the Iberian Peninsula type of Portuguese and Spain together, plus the Mediterranean. So if you start naming them, we're like, all right.
I think the argument really stemmed
not
over
in the top 10 when you had
whether Cuban makes it in the top 10,
and it doesn't.
No, really?
Yeah, I have a list on my phone wherever it is over there.
I feel like we should have like a campaign hat now as to I thought he was coming in, but guns blazing. He was going to be making his argument for Cuban cuisine to make it in the top 10.
You know where my argument would land would be if we can compile Caribbean cuisine together, and that helps with Dominican, Haitian, Jamaican, and we put.
Did you have this conversation with your wife?
No.
No one else? You did this all yourself?
We were talking. Well, we spoke about this.
This guy, I thought he was coming in. I thought he was staying the course.
Yeah, no. We spoke about this, and I was like, and I made a list when we were literally leaving, walking to my car, and I go, okay, like, there's an argument, and I have we can talk about it keep going. But Cuban, if it stands on its face, my argument when we first had this was like it has very solid breakfast with pastries of croquetas, Cuban pastries, guava, coffee, fantastic sandwiches. You have pan con vite, pan con lechon, croqueta, Cuban sandwich. Dinners, you have the larger entrees with the rice and beans, and then either whatever beef and proteins you want. So like, it makes a fair argument, but when you compare it to the impact that it has, it might be out of someone's top 10 unless you're compiling them with other Caribbean cultures and islands.
So you're gonna go with
I'd put Caribbean in a top cuisine. 10.
Okay. So what would your top 10 be?
Oof, I wish I had my phone on me because I
You could grab his phone.
No, it's far.
Global cuisines. No, grab his phone. It's on the table.
Thank you.
Global cuisines. I'll give you my global cuisines. My top 10 global cuisines. We have.
Thank you.
In no particular order.
No. And when we list these,
top 10 in no particular order.
When we list these,
I'm gonna go with Italian.
Okay.
French. I'm gonna split apart the Mediterranean, and I'll say Greek, Israeli, Spanish.
Okay.
American, Japanese, Chinese, Thai. Have I already gotten to 10?
You're probably close.
I think I'm at like 9. I've eaten Russian food in Russia. No bueno. Not a huge like Copenhagen, like Nordic country type of guy.
No.
Although I had a great quarter pounder in like Switzerland or something like that once. Canada doesn't make the list. I guess maybe like meat from Argentina or something.
I have Argentina in my secondary category. So I made like tiers out of my top 10. And I had Japanese, Italian, Peruvian, Mexican. Then I had just Mediterranean written here. American, Indian, Iberian.
Indian. I forgot about Indian.
French. And then I have Chinese or Caribbean.
Okay.
Personally, I put Caribbean over Chinese, but because of the mass sheer amount of Chinese people there
I was gonna say, there's
I'm
a lot
gonna
of
have
Chinese
to lean
people,
Chinese.
bro.
But I'm just saying my bias.
Do you like jerk chicken?
Yeah, love jerk chicken, Caribbean.
Yeah.
The flavors
I have some real judgment on the Caribbean.
for me,
I don't know if I've ever had a good meal in the Caribbean other than Jean Georges restaurant at in Bahamas.
Bougie, bro. This guy doesn't need the
bougie,
SLS.
Bro.
No, but I think you have to, if you're thinking like oxtail, proteins, picadillo, carne con papa, rice and beans, whether it's moro, gallo pinto, carne asada, all those things.
Yeah.
Plus a plantain on the side. For me, I know it tastes like home, and that's where my bias sits.
I think so.
Especially in South Florida, because we have such a strong Caribbean population over Chinese. Like the Chinese footprint here is much smaller than other metropolitan cities like San Francisco, New York, all those places. I think that's why Caribbean for me sneaks in, just based on flavor.
I have another question for you. This is my last one.
By the way, my second tier is Thai, Argentinian, and like the Israeli.
Thai food's amazing.
Yeah. No, I was there, but I would say I had better. You know what knocked it out is that I had better food in New York, better Thai food in New York than I had in Thailand.
I've never been to Thailand.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Think about it, because it's like Cuba. There's not a lot of proteins readily available for them over there. The vegetables and produce was very fresh, but at the end of the day, like the pork that went in it in New York was just so much more flavorful than the ones that I had in Thailand. But the street food there was stellar.
So would you agree that great food starts with great ingredients?
I can't agree with that.
You can.
Yeah.
So,
but doesn't mean that bad ingredients food can't taste good.
Oh no.
Okay, just making sure that's clear.
Great, like the reason like a pasta tastes better in Tuscany than it does somewhere else is because not only was the pasta probably handmade there, but the tomatoes were grown a mile away, et cetera, right? And so I have one other question regarding Cuban food.
Okay.
If
By the way, I'm not like the ambassador of all Cuban food.
He is.
Especially like
I just find
it's this like iteration of like third generation Cuban food of what I've understood living in Miami, which is also very different than like what people watching this would be like. But there's no food in Cuba because of this. Like, yes, I agree, but we're talking about Cuban
I'm just
food
doing
in
this
Miami.
for fun, bro.
No, I know. I'm clearing the air of all things when people are gonna start talking about it.
So as the ambassador of Cuban food.
Definitely not.
Here's what I was going to say.
My waistline says otherwise, but yes.
So if you were gonna eat a person like food, you would try the best ingredient, and then that would make the best thing very often. So if Cuban coffee was actually good, why would they put all that sugar on top of it?
Well, I love the taste of it regardless. I don't even need it with or without sugar, but like that sugar just takes it to a whole other level.
So you like burnt coffee?
I love it when it's strong.
I'm just
coffee.
fucking with you now.
I love strong coffee.
No, I'm just fucking.
You would think he'd get better coffee since he doesn't leave the SLS in the Venetian. Poor guy needs to go to a proper Ventanita.
I do not go to the SLS for the record. I definitely go to the Four Seasons.
Oh, so exactly. Exactly.
No, but I would say what I would like to do with you, I would like to have a challenge with you in the future where we go to Sunshine and we make the best version of Cuban coffee.
Are you guys roasting your own beans?
Yes.
Nice. So they would be number 7 in Miami of roasters off the top of my head. I may be missing some, but off the top of my head, there are, even though there's a million coffee shops, which I want more. I want every neighborhood to have their local coffee shop.
Me too.
I would want more roasteries.
Yeah. So we are roasting in Miami Gardens.
Okay, nice.
A 30-year roaster. His name's Salman. He comes from Venezuela.
Nice.
He's been in the coffee business since he was 7 years old, and he developed a taste for like a more Italian blend of coffee, and he couldn't find it when he moved here from Venezuela.
Okay.
And so he sat with us and we developed a proprietary blend. It's a combination of like Brazil, Costa Rica, Ethiopia, a few different ones. Nice. Because we are a iced coffee focused brand.
Yes.
And so
makes sense in Miami.
We wanted it to be rich enough to stand up to the ice, but definitely feel like it's our own. And so it's roasted here. But I think what we can do is we can make a Cuban specific version.
Oh yeah, we'll mess around
and see what we come up with, because I'm interested in like diving deep into the flavors that like kind of spark your memory
of what I grew up like drinking.
Yeah. I think that would be a really fun exercise. Anyway.
Which I would say it might not be for everyone because it is a more bitter tasting taste when you just have it kind of straight up, and that's why even my go-to orders at regular coffee shops are espresso tonics, because the coffee shines through. It elevates and it opens up the notes of the coffee beans. So like,
amazing.
That's kind of why I go that route, because it's coffee first, second flavor second.
Yeah. Listen, I once took my father-in-law. Bring it up to the top. I once took my father-in-law to a Cuban coffee shop. And
which one? That's very important.
It was on Miami Beach on 5th Street. It was
Las
on
Olas.
the corner.
Las Olas Cafe.
A lot of people in front there. It's like I had them make us iced coffees.
Not gonna happen.
No, they did, but it was like the strongest iced coffee I've ever had. And my father-in-law, he's like an older man. He was like, he's like usually like chilling on the couch. He was like going around the house, cleaning, doing all this shit. And my mother-in-law was like, "What'd you do to him?" I was like, "I just got him Cuban coffee." He's like, he took fucking a rail of cocaine and like.
Cut that. No, we'll go to Sweet Havana after this. It's right down the street, and I think they make a very good tasting, strong coffee.
Okay, I'm into it. Okay, we have to get the what is your name and what do you do? We didn't get that.
Okay.
Say.
You want me to say it?
Yeah. I'm going to go down the list of the standard questions.
So my name is George Arango, but most people know me as Mysteries 305. I am a content creator posting about food, travel, and everything that I love.
Cool. How long have you lived in Miami?
My entire life.
Amazing. Where do you live?
If you might not know about it. No, of course I'm not going to be.
So my social security number. I might not know about it.
You might not know about it, but like.
Because I'm a gringo.
Westchester, La Salacera, that on the other side of the Palmetto.
Isn't it correctly pronounced Westchester?
Close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we do have a Westchester in New York.
Well, it's still spelled the same way. It may be pronounced by locals differently. But yeah, Westchester, but Westchester.
What's your morning routine?
Wake up, go to the gym, whether it's Legacy or the local like LA Fitness. At the,
you know who one of the next guests is?
No, Manny,
the guy from Legacy. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Manny.
Yeah.
So I go to Legacy, and of course, once I get back home, shower, drink my coffee, and get started with the day. Whether that's staying home and eating healthy and knocking out the boring stuff, or going out and exploring and figuring out what part of town I'm going to explore.
How does it break down from like a time spending perspective? Like between
usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to stay home.
Okay.
Try to be clean. Try to like focus on the housekeeping things, whether that's getting all of our edits done for the week on Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday. And Wednesday is like our play day. Like if we can skip it if we need to and stay home, or we'll go out. And then Thursday, Friday, we're going out, and Thursday, Friday, we're doing a lunch and most likely a dinner.
So just so everyone understands though, like the life of a content creator isn't just like walking the streets and taking pictures. Like there's there's actually work that needs to be done.
Of course.
Right.
And I only can speak for myself. So maybe some people have another process that they're better editors or the kind of content that we're making, we try to make it as valuable as possible. And it's not just showcasing me. Like it's never, I'm always thinking about the business or the consumer first, but through my lens and through the things that I love. So I'm still leading and driving the ship, but it's with very mindful purpose.
How do you take your coffee?
Espresso tonic, ice.
Espresso tonic, ice.
Unless we're at a ventanita and we're getting a cortado or a colada.
You've already shared, but a hidden gem in Miami that you think more people need to know about.
I don't know if they're even hidden anymore because I've been trying to put people on so much, but Babe's Meat Encounter in Palmetto Bay has to be the answer to that question for sure.
Okay. Babes is dominating the
conversation.
The awards today.
And people will probably think like, oh, that's probably because Babes pays him. It's like, no, that's not how things work, and that's not how I work. And like,
no, Babes is good.
Yes.
Babes is really good. Like really, really good.
Yes. And no one pays me anything to say anything.
Gotcha.
Period.
Yes. You want $1? No.
I'll send over the info after. Thank you.
What do you love most about Miami?
Yeah, we kind of hinted at it. It's just like the fact that it has everything available for what you are looking for, whether it's the water or the diversity or the food or the culture or the party. Like really whatever you're curious about, Miami has it.
How do you Miami, right? How do you share your creativity?
Through Instagram. No, but just making videos and I actually should take my own advice sometimes more because I want to be even more creative and like whether it's through music or through other methods and not just about food or being able to tell better stories or having these conversations. So it's the medium is social media, but I need to take my own advice and like post about more things.
Do you post the same content on like TikTok and Instagram, or
I do repurpose it, but I try to also make content that's geared more towards a TikTok audience or a style, and I need to do that more. It's
and do you
demanding.
edit on like the CapCut or
CapCut and InShot? Yeah, because we film most things on our phone.
Okay. I just think people find that interesting.
Yeah. I think if you're just getting started, CapCut's a great tool because it has everything that InShot has and more. And it also has a desktop version if you're more comfortable on a laptop or computer. Yeah.
What personal experience has shaped your creative journey the most?
I think obviously staying in Miami for a lot of my living wise here has shaped me because you get your street smarts, you get your school smarts, FIU, my music career there, and like DJing and understanding the layout of what people are interested about, what people are listening to, reading a crowd, reading an audience, kind of the same thing. I was doing it in person there, but now I'm doing it online. Yeah. So I think assessing Miami and understanding the nature of what the 305 has to offer, not just in music, but everything, kind of having a pulse on the city, keeping that.
What's one piece of advice you'd give your younger self?
How young are we talking?
It's up to you.
Man, I'd say like keep at it. Like you don't doubt yourself. Just kind of be confident in what you like and what you do, and keep blocking out the noise, because I was always have like blinders.
Yeah.
And just keep them on, and don't worry about haters,
to do that
trolls,
anyway,
whatever.
right?
You know, like I've been able to listen to my own advice there, thankfully, and my parents' advice and all that. And it was just like focus on what you love, and eventually things will line up.
Are you very close with your parents?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they like?
My dad's a police officer, been there 25 plus years, and my mom's a teacher. Yeah.
Right.
But born in
Now it's
Jersey, and
making,
then
now it's making sense.
born in Jersey.
My mom's a teacher too.
Nice. Yeah. So
My mom was a teacher
born in
too.
Jersey and moved down when I was born.
Well, how do you define your success?
Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Actually, I think it was, I forgot who we were talking it with, but I define success as creating an impact on your community. It can be impacting one person or hundreds of thousands or millions, however it may be. So I think just if you're happy with impacting and changing one person's life, that's success to me. It can be your wife, it can be your parents, it can be your siblings, whoever it may be.
Do you think that like your parents being like serving the community has like instilled that in you?
It could play a factor for sure. I haven't taken, that step back into like, let's think of where this all stems from. I think
It seems to make sense.
it makes sense. It was always just like being the first one to go to college, do something. Like they wanted me to be taken care of, but at the end of the day, I always wanted to like take care of them and make sure that yes, I'm taken care of, but I want to do it in a method that I could help more than just me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So
Makes
I'm
sense.
sure it stems from it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the key to life, I think, as a Jewish man, they say
Drop all the knowledge, man. Like
they
share
say
with us.
you can just get to the bottom line of the Torah, which is love thy neighbor as thyself. The rest is just commentary, right?
it's great.
So everything else is like whatever, as long as you're putting the needs of other people ahead of your own and caring for them and being generous and sharing, like everything else kind of falls into place from there.
Makes sense.
Right. And I think that's, as I like listen to you and understand you a little more as a person, because we don't know each other that well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems that this idea keeps coming up again and again that like, when you're making content or doing what you're doing, like you're very focused on the end user. You're very focused on the person consuming the content and like what they're getting out of it. And I think that like that probably has a lot to do with it resonating with them because you're actually thinking about that. Like I think most people who make content are thinking about like, how do I look in the content?
I'm still looking at that. Don't worry. Don't get me wrong. Don't make me sound like,
you're not 100% altruistic.
But it's not about me. I'm not making the content to showcase like me. I am just the vessel to share the story of the restaurateurs, the people putting in like the hard work, and I am just the medium for them to receive my content, hopefully in an entertaining and valuable way.
Yeah, well, that's the secret, bro.
I guess that's what it is.
If you could collaborate with any artist, entrepreneur, or creative, who would it be and why?
Man, I love anyone who's kind of like very passionate or curious about specifically Miami, because I'm so passionate about Miami and discovering what Miami has to offer more than what we know or what they may know. But if anyone, like, I love Shaq. Shaq is out there, like Shaquille O'Neal, because he has that Miami connection too.
Yeah.
He would be the one, if I have to name drop. Yeah, exactly.
He's very real. He's very real. I like when he shares his successes, and obviously he's a monster success. But at the same time, he also is like pretty open with his failures. Like he's talked about like some stuff with his family that he wish he did differently. And like, I like that guy a lot too.
Yeah. So, but I'm open to anyone who like is very curious about learning Miami or true spots. And I've had celebrities that I'm friends with now because they were so curious that I'm like, all right, like I got you. Like, here are some spots. Like
that's cool.
I'm very open to wanting to help out anyone really.
Yeah. What do you believe? What do you believe? Like
I think I think the common theme is helping others and guiding them into where I am, where I've seen, I believe in these restaurateurs. So let me put that belief back in them and share it with the world.
When you said the chef's name, you were like, boom, 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 boom.
You know, so like I believe in this community. I believe in Miami. I believe that like we want to help others. And the way that I could do so is by making these videos and making this content, because I'm passionate about it. And I think they're working hard and people love it. So like, I love that it helps people.
What's your happy place?
Anywhere, you know, with my wife, my family, with coffee, Miami. Yeah, like it's not like Happy Gilmore where I'm thinking of like a specific scene to make sure like, but anywhere where there's family, friends, cool. It's a good place for me.
Last question.
And food, obviously.
Yes. Do you have a favorite quote?
I wouldn't say like a specific quote that like carries me. I think it's more of like people who have said like good things. I love Rick Rubin from a creative standpoint. All the athletes that, you know, I look up to. Like,
are you a big Heat fan?
I'm a huge Heat fan.
That's what we have to do. We got to go to a Heat game together.
Well, the opening night is against the Knicks this season. Yeah. So the Knicks will start 0-1. And it's a good start for the Heat.
I think, you know, like every year undercover, we've put together a team that I think has a lot of
Heat guy.
I'm very big Heat guy.
Just making sure.
Very big
these New Yorkers.
No, fuck that. I always hated the Knicks. I used to love watching
my dad's a Knicks fan. My dad's a Knicks fan. And
still?
Unfortunately, I think so. Now that they had one good run, I think he's like, I think I'm actually back. Yeah. But he had like stopped supporting them for about 10 years. Like 10 years ago. Yeah. He's been in Miami almost his entire life now, and he's like, all right, I think I'm a Heat fan.
I think we've undercovered. We're still missing that one piece, but undercover, we have had an excellent offseason. We put together a really good team, which I think is going to be very hard to beat on any like day in, day out basis. The only thing I feel like we're missing is that like one player who you need like in like the third round of the playoffs to like take you through that like last fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Like I love all the guys, but and I think Hero's great, but I don't think he's that guy. Like, so
you never know, man. I don't want to be one of these.
He's better than he was.
That's always great. I don't want to be one of these floating heads talking like we know, you know, what they're thinking. I think these guys are mentally there, and we have the best like staff and coaching, and
we have amazing staff.
You know, in front office. So if I think if they keep that dog mentality in them, you never know who they can beat with who they have. So I'm all here for the Heat culture. Whoever is wearing Miami on the front of their chest, I support them.
I'm into it. At least we're not from Philadelphia. No.
Oh, see how quickly he changes from basketball to football.
Yeah, bro. Well, you can't. you can't even talk about basketball. You can't even say the words.
I've been saying that for the last
I would love
years.
if we got Tyrese Maxey over here.
Yeah, Maxey's great.
He would be great for the Heat, actually. Yeah. He'd be that guy. Yeah, none of the rest of your team. Keep the rest of the team. Anyway, so George, it was awesome to have you.
Thank you, man.
Honestly, man, you're a very authentic person.
Appreciate it.
I feel through talking to you that I understand like where the success comes from, and it really seems to come from really, really good core values and being a really good person.
That means a lot. Thank you.
And so I hope we were able to share some great meals together.
Yeah, man. We're going to have coffee after this.
Yeah, we're definitely getting coffee after this.
Yeah. That's a start. Yeah.
So I love to share some meals with you. I'd love to share some coffee with you, create some coffee with you, and keep this dialogue going, because at the end of the day, like, we might come from different worlds, but our core value is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. I love Miami. I love being here. I love seeing this city grow. And I would love to stand alongside you and help build that city that we see in the future, so that our kids and our families and everyone else can thrive here for decades to come.
And that's the goal, is keeping Miami growing and in line with the same values that we, you know, started with. So and continue with that. So I'm here for it.
So everyone who's watching this, how do they find you? How do they interact with your stuff?
So Mr. Eats 305 on socials, that's the best way to look at my content. But if you're hungry and you're looking for the best place to eat, MrEats305.com, that's where the map is, where it's broken down by neighborhood, cuisine. You can have a search bar, type it in. That's the easiest tool to find your next meal.
So when you're trying to adventure in Miami, right, go beyond your comfort zone and see what else is out there, that's the place to go. Mr. Eats 305, check it out, and definitely follow on the socials, because he's always got the good stuff.
Appreciate it, man.
Later, brother.
Don't take a bite without me.